Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity. I always say to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, y'all, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla. And Tesla is interesting. I say so often, y'all. Tesla does what it does. Now we close at 278.39. That's coming off of this let's say 255, 256 area, all the way up to the 283, 286 was the high. Let's say that. So we need to definitely be careful. Are we going to keep going higher, or are we going to get rejected? Keep in mind, I say so often, in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. What's interesting about Tesla is how we came down and bounced off of this 276.28. It would not surprise me to see us back in this area. I'm going to say that again. Anything is possible, right? So where are the trouble places as of now for Tesla? Seems like this area of 282.94 or 283.11 is a trouble place for us. That's a resistance place as of now. We should break that. 284.35, breaking that. 286.55, and if we should break that level, 289.73 could be a trouble place for us. And if we break that, 291.01, that's interesting, seeing Tesla there, right? As of now, 291.01 or 291.11, let's say that. If we should break that, 292.73, if we break the 292.73, we could come back to 294.82. As you see, there's a few layers of resistance or trouble at that 294 area. 294.95, if we should break that, 297.59. Now let's look back to the downside. So if by chance we break under this level here of 280.84, we could possibly have trouble around 279.70, not far away. 279.03, again, not far away. Breaking that, 277.40. If we should break that, the 50 EMA as of now is at the 276.29. Breaking that brings us back to 274.62. And if we break that, 273.31. Breaking that level brings us back to 270.74. Again, it would not surprise me to see us back at this 270 area for Tesla. If we should break that, 269.35, and breaking that brings us back to 267.29. But as you can see, the 20 EMA on the daily chart is at that 266.96. So if by chance we break the 276.28, we could very well come back to the level of 266.54 area. So again, not financial advice. This is some of the issues that I see when I look, or the trouble places that I see when I look at the market. And again, we got looking at this 30-minute chart, there are some sellers resistance in this area here. So that 283.04 would definitely be a level that I would watch if I traded Tesla today. So again, not financial advice. Let's look at the spot just to see where we are. 574.08 is where we close. Where are our trouble places as of now? Back to the upside, 576.45. Y'all said there's a few layers of trouble or resistance at the up to the 577.06. If we should break that, 577.62, and breaking that 578.54. Breaking that 578.54 level, there's a few layers here, 579.03. And if we should break that 579.74, again, a few layers there at up to the 580.14. Now if we break that 580.14 area, you'll see here there's a few layers of resistance right there for the spot up to the 580.93. So I will watch that 580, let's say 579.74 up to the 580.93. That could be our trouble places for the SPY. Now back to the downside, that 5 EMA is our support. It's holding us up right here. That's been, creating a gathering spot there in that level. So under, I would say the 575 area, you'll see there's a few layers down under that to the 574.35. Let's just use that 20 EMA. Under that 574.35, breaking that, the ATR trailing stop, 573.74, breaking that, the 50 EMA, 573.08. Y'all see we have this level of 573 mark, not far away, right? So under the 573, I would definitely watch the 572.63 or 572.65, breaking that, 572.12. And if by chance we break that, there's a few other layers. 571.45 would be the level that I would watch. Again, not financial advice. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are areas to the upside and to the downside. Now, Amazon, let's see, we closed at 203.26, and I get to mark these levels. I like that. So immediately my eye goes to this gathering spot here on this 30-minute chart around the 203.66 area as that's kind of like a little zone that we were trading in here. So 204.03 could be a trouble place, and if we break that, we can go back to the 204.65 for Amazon, which is interesting. Right now, back to the downside, let's see, we could possibly come back to around 202.91 and find support. If we break that level, we can come back to the ATR trail and stop at 202.51. And if we should break that, I would watch around the 201.95 area. Let's say, but yes, around the 201.95 for Amazon. Those could very well be, trouble places or support places. And keep in mind, I think we have a 6-month bill auction or something coming out as far as information today. So keep in mind, y'all, that can move the market in either direction. So if you're trading Amazon today, those are places to the downside. Now, back to the upside, I'm going to see if I can go. There we are. Or we could very well break in the level of 204.65. We can come back to the 207.53, which is our 200 EMA on this 4-hour chart. I'm going to go to the daily chart just to see if I see anything in between that, and I do not. What's interesting is that 20 EMA at the 202.69. So definitely, if you're trading Amazon today, those are areas that I would watch. Again, breaking that 204.65 can take us back to that 207 area. Again, not financial advice, and y'all know we can get stopped out in between that area. So trade carefully, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, get out. So let's look at AMD today. We closed at 113.85, and y'all can see we made a pre-market high of 114.98. Found some trouble there. That's where our ATR trailing stop is as of now. So let's look back to the upside, breaking back above the 113.83. We could possibly have trouble. 114.28, again 114.59, 114.83. ATR trailing stop at the 115.03, and if we should break that, 115.20. For AMD, Amazon, kind of close right now. Back to the downside, let's say we break under this level here of 113.42, and y'all see that's kind of like where the body of these candles are here, and all of it is kind of like on this line together. So we definitely need to watch that 113.42. Breaking that for AMD, we can come back, find support at that 113.01, and y'all see that's where our 50 EMA is. If we should break that, we can come back to the 112.01, and breaking that 111.42, 111.03, 110.65. Breaking that brings us back to 109.91. So if you're trading AMD today, those are areas to the upside and to the downside. Now breaking this 109.91 area, it brings us kind of close to that 109, which is where that 200 EMA is as of now. Again, I say it so often, y'all, in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Let's look at Meta today. Meta, it seems like it's been breaking out of a gathering spot to move us to this area. We knew we could possibly have trouble around that 626.18. We closed at 618.85, and so we're already up pre-market, creating a gap to the downside for us. So definitely need to be careful with that. So 626.18, we could possibly have trouble again. 630.17, and breaking that 630.17, I have the next level of 642.76. Let's go see if we have anything. 630, yeah, 642.60 or 642.60. So that could be a trouble place, but there is a big gap in between that and that. So keep in mind, it could very well create an area. There it is. There we have 632.84, which will be the 200 EMA as of right now. So back to the upside, just know we have 630.17, again 632.84. Breaking that takes us back to the 642.60 area. Again, anything is possible, y'all. So if you're trading Meta today, those are areas to the upside. Now back to the downside, let's say we break under the 617.71. We have 614.56 could be a support place. If we should break that level, 610.61 or 610.37 could be a support place for us. And if we should break that, 607.75, and then here at 604.46, which is where our 200 EMA is, and y'all see that's where a previous area that we marked as a support and a resistance area. That's why it's so important that we mark those. So if you're trading Meta today, these are areas to the upside and to the downside. Again, not financial advice. Let's go to look at the SPY. Did we look at the SPY today? We did. So I say, y'all, in this market, it's been interesting. And the great thing about it is there's so many different ways to make money in the market. And if you're on the right side of that, you can make some decent profit. The thing is making sure you have the discipline to execute your trades, because if it goes against your why, which is your reason for getting in, we need to make sure we have our stop losses or whatever it is that you choose to use. Make sure you have the discipline to execute that. So let's look at Google today. We closed at 169.93, and it looks like we're having trouble here at this 171.08. If by chance we get back above that, we could possibly have trouble. 171.52, breaking that. 172.21, and if we should break that 172.21, let's see, I have the next level here at the 174.99, and y'all know we can get stopped out anywhere in between that, right? So GOOG or Alphabet Inc. C, if you're trading that today, those are areas back to the upside. Now, under this 170.56, we could very well come back to 170.04. If we should break that 169.59, and breaking that brings us back to around the 168.18 area. Did I mention 169.03? Breaking the 169.03, we can come back to the 168.11. Breaking that 167.54, and if by chance we break that 167.06. So those are areas for Google, GOOG. If you're trading Alphabet Inc. C today, let's look at Alphabet Inc. A. It looks like we're moving up. So 168.98 is where we got rejected at before. So that 169 area, I will watch that. Now back beyond that, the next level again here is at the 170.57. Keep in mind, there's anything that could stop us out in this area. So back to the downside, if by chance we break under 168.25, we could very well come back to around the 167.73, and breaking that 167.39, breaking that level 166.84. If we should break that 166.58, and breaking that level brings us back to 165.82, breaking that 165.34. So if you trade in Google, Alphabet Inc. A, areas that I would kind of like watch back to the downside and to the upside. Just keep in mind above that 170.57, the next level I have marked is the 173.45. However, again, anything can stop us out in that area. And right now, the 200 EMA on this 4-hour chart is at the 172.98. So we could very well break through this 170.57 and have trouble around the 172.98, which would not be far from that 173.45 area. So again, if you trade Google or Alphabet Inc. A, those are areas to the upside and to the downside. Let's look at Netflix today just to see where we are. And it seems as if we're trading in a gathering spot as of now. Support 967.35, resistance around 974.45, not that far away. Now breaking that level, we could possibly come back to the 977. If we break that level, 989.16, 994.58, and if we break that $1,016.46, could be a trouble place back to the upside. Now you see there's a few layers of resistance here. Now if we break that $1,016, we could very well come to the $1,030.40 or $1,030.16 around that area, right? Anything is possible. Now back to the downside for Netflix under this 966.92, we could very well come back to the 959.28. Breaking that brings us back to kind of like where this area 200 EMA is resting here at the 952.24 area. Around that, if we should break that 950.56 and breaking that, ATR trailing stop is forming at 940.44. If we should break that for Netflix, 938.88. So if you're trading Netflix today, these are areas that I will possibly watch for trouble places. Again, not financial advice, y'all. In this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. So Tesla will be the one that I will be watching today. And as you can see, my Tesla charts are very congested, and only because when I'm in, I want to know where my trouble places are, and that it's so important, to know where you could possibly have trouble. So I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale for that reason. So again, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that, y'all, because we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.